Oh, I am tired. I'm exhausted. I've gotten more sleep today than I have in a week or so, if not longer. And I don't know what the deal is, but I am exhausted. I know. Oh, hi, puppy. You're tired too. Hi. I know that part of it is stress, for sure. And part of it is sleep debt and stuff. But anyway, I want to talk about this concept of life is what you make it. And why that is sometimes really annoying to hear, and also the truth in that, and where I'm at with that phrase or that idea or concept right now. So I'm trying to put it out into the universe. that, that phrase just makes me laugh. I'm trying to think very positive and to express positive things about this job that I have applied for, that I had an interview for, that I had a really good interview with. And it's a big step. It's something that I really need. And I don't believe in fate. It's not just like, oh, if you didn't get it, that means something better's around the corner. How long has something better been around the corner for, right? I've been here for 5 years, going on 6? Or no, just coming up to 5, I guess. Yeah. I don't remember now. Coming up to 5 or coming up to 6 years. Must be coming up to 6. Jeez. Anyway. And I had a temporary contract for less than 2 years. And it was beautiful for the majority of it. Because I was there full-time for a year and there was only part-time for a semester there. Anyway, but after that, I've just been subbing, and it's been a slog, and it gets harder every year because a lot of different things have happened. Obviously, COVID-related stuff that is out of the blue that we can't really control, and then also just my lack of desire to be subbing. I mean, at first, it's just like, yeah, you got to sub, you got to get your foot in the door, you got to do that, you got to get some experience. I get this contract, I've got experience teaching in that way now that is way different than subbing. It's what I want to be doing. It's what I've always wanted to do and what I would love to do. Get a taste of that, get thrown back onto the sub list, and it's just been hell sometimes. And then I have this opportunity, and I've really tried hard to make that opportunity. I've tried hard to do things this year that are not just going through the motions of applying to places, but really getting some help, some outside perspective and assistance with things like my cover letter or what else I can do, speaking to admin of mine that I had during my contract years, getting updated reference letters, getting a new reference as well of someone who really believes in my abilities and supports me, and then just there's a lot of things this year that are on my side that I have done and prepared myself to put my best foot forward and really, really put myself in a good position. And I tried to do all that early and try to hit jobs early and apply to a lot of places early. And some of those things didn't happen despite my best efforts because of deadlines and because of relying on other people to do things and to get back to me with things, and having to send several reminders in some cases, and not hearing back or not getting things back in time for me to apply to certain places, like Saskatchewan stuff. They all closed down all their stuff by the end of May. They had to have all their numbers in. They did all their hiring already. And there were some documents I didn't get back until close to the end of May from people that I needed. So the reason I say that, it's not about playing a blame game. It's about this thing of life is what you make it. I'm just thinking I really put a lot of effort into this year, into doing what I need to do, doing my due diligence, just pushing and pushing and pushing. And not just with putting myself in a good position to get a job, a career that I want, that I need. But even just like working my butt off on these other things outside of subbing, so that I can have a source of income and not go further and further and further in debt. And at the end of the day, you can do everything. And there's this thing of just like, life is what you make it. Like there's this truth to the matter of, okay, let me backtrack. I don't want to get negative. But there's parts of me that are I'm just on this, I'm waiting. Right now, it's a waiting game. I did my interview. I think I rocked it. I did really well. I felt really good about it. I came out of that interview, just the best interview I've ever had. And I think that I felt good vibes from the admin team there, especially the principal. And now I just have to wait to hear back, right? So I keep telling myself to be positive and just knowing that I did everything I could do and whatever, but I don't have a backup plan. I have been looking for jobs other places. I have even been looking at jobs outside of teaching. I have, scoured the 3 provinces for teaching jobs, and then looking outside of that, like I said. So between British Columbia, Alberta, and Saskatchewan, where I have teaching certificates, it's just rough times right now. So. And this one is just so perfect for me, and it's what I really want, and I don't really have to compromise a lot on things I'm willing to compromise on a certain amount. But anyway, the point is that during this waiting game, I have been getting a little negative here and there, and there's times where I sway back and forth between telling myself and others, like, hey, when I get that job, not if, but when. And then there's times I'm like, man, like, what if that doesn't happen? If that doesn't happen, then what, right? And I just think, like, man, I start getting really down, and I get sucked into feeling like, I mean, I know that I just have to take it one step at a time, but there's times where I feel like, man, if that doesn't happen, like, frick. Like, I understand how people just give up on life. I understand how people just say, no, that's it. I did it as much as I could do it. I pushed and I pushed and I pushed, and I did my best. Like, I really just, whatever. The list goes on of just, like, the amount of effort you could put in, and that you don't receive what you feel like you are subject to receive, like with those efforts, that you should be getting an outcome, that you should be creating an outcome, but that relies so much on other people sometimes. I think no matter what, at the end of the day, it's like, man, if you want to start your own business, you still have to rely on things most likely like bank loans and like finding rent in an area that's affordable. Like, there's a lot of things that even if you were going to be your own boss, you have to rely on other people to get started. And they have a power to accept or deny your application for this or for that, for whatever reason. So there's a certain amount of control you have, and the control that you have is on how you react to things. But I guess I just wanted to address that thing first, of that negativity, I guess, of just these thoughts I've been having of, like, man, like, I'm tired of, like, no, I don't want, like, that's just... Life is what you make it, and it's just like, okay, I understand that, but also it gets really frustrating to hear when if you're down and out, and if you're just in this horrible cycle, and you're doing what you can to get out, and you're working really hard, and you just can't get out of it, because the other powers that be that control things that you cannot control, but they at times seem to control your destiny, or gatekeepers, or people that just the way the system and the structure is on how to accept or deny someone's application for whatever that may be to move forward in their life. If you face continual rejection and denial despite your best efforts, saying, like, life is what you make it is, like, a really difficult statement to accept. Because you can say, no, like, I am doing my best. I know what I can do. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I can offer. I know that I would be great in this role, and that I would thrive and positively influence others around me, but other people won't give me the opportunity to do that. And that so that makes it really difficult to hear, like, life is what you make it, and it's like, no, other people control what my opportunities are in some areas, right? And again, I don't believe that, oh, well, you didn't get that job, you didn't get your dream job because you were just meant for something better. No, I don't. That's fate, right? Like, that's fate, and I don't believe that. I believe that one could carve out another avenue for themselves because these things aren't working. These things aren't working out for them, so they choose to go another route, and then they make something amazing out of that because they're so frustrated with the system and everything else that's controlling them. Or they pursue another career because this one's oversaturated, and just for whatever reason things happen this way, and they pursue another career, and maybe they do find happiness there. But I don't believe it was fate that really upsets me. Like, oh, it wasn't meant to be. I'm like, what do you mean it wasn't meant to be? That's my dream job. I know that it is, right? Like I know that I've experienced it. I love it. I want it. I'm ready for it. Like, I think that it can still challenge me. I'm not above it, and I'm certainly not below it. Anyway, but that phrase, life is what you make it, I think that used in the context of, at the end of the day, it comes back to choice. You have a choice with not very many things sometimes, but you do have a choice in how you react to those things. And so I think about Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning. It's a very short book, but has a couple key... I mean, I found a lot of good quotes, honestly, in the foreword. What was it? Harold S. Kushner, I think, wrote that. But there's just a lot of this idea that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You still have choice on how you will react to things. And if I have choice in how to react, I guess I can change my thinking, I can change my attitude, I can see life through a different lens. And I'm trying to do that, but it's so hard when, like, I think that without faith in an entity or without faith in fate, that is really difficult to do, to say, oh, I'm just meant for better things, that's all. Like, that's really hard to do without that, because I'm like, no, this is the thing that I want, and I keep getting turned away. This is the thing that I know that I'm capable of doing and do it well, and I've had feedback, live in the field feedback of what I can do there and how I can benefit that community. So it's not me just being out to lunch. It's not me just like being delusional about my skills and abilities. It's that I'm not getting put in, I'm not being accepted into a position to prove that again and have that opportunity. So that's really difficult. No matter what happens with this choice, I've got next steps to take. I don't think, sometimes, like I just did, I go very specific, go broad, and come back to very specific. And in my reality of my life, I just can't keep subbing. I just can't do it. I can't. I don't know, if I can't find a job that makes me happy, I still don't think I can go back to subbing, and that really limits my opportunities for finding teaching in the future. But I can't keep doing it. It's, especially here. I work for 2 different school districts, and one of them is a lot more respectful of their sub-staff than the other. One of them takes less advantage of their sub-staff than the other. There are other districts where subs are treated incredibly well and respected and not taken advantage of and taken for granted in the same way that one of these school districts here locally does that. So it's not just that system, it's just the nature of subbing. It's an incredibly different job than teaching. It just is. And I've talked about that before here. But basically, I just wanted to like rant about that within the context and framework of this idea that life is what you make it. And I agree with that I can change my attitude and how I do things and operate, how I receive news and process events and react to them. But it is not like I can just do anything that I want. I can't make my life the way that I want it to be all by myself. There needs to be a set of other people in line that assist with that. And I don't know what you call that, because it goes with that whole thing of like make your own luck. And it's like I have pushed harder than I've ever pushed to do my very best to set myself up and give myself those opportunities that I need for what I want. And I might find out today or tomorrow that those efforts just weren't enough. I also might find out that they were enough, and then that would be fantastic and great and would really just fill my sails. But that's where I'm at right now, and I'm in limbo. And I'm trying to work through that because no matter what, I've got next steps I need to take. And they're going to be stressful. Some are going to be stressful in a positive. No matter what, they should be in a positive way, right? Being like, okay, well, that's another opportunity for something else. Something else better will come along. And I don't believe that. I believe that it could be something else, and I believe that it could be something maybe in the end that would be better, but it's not because of fate, right? It is going to be what I make it. But it is just so fitting into this structure or trying to even work outside the structure. There's only so many ways you could do that. I'm rambling. I'm off the rails. I'm going to go.